Welcome back, folks. Today's story is about a woman who thought she married the perfect gentleman until he slowly started trying to control her, starting with how she dressed. At first, his comments seemed small and harmless, maybe even caring, but over time, they turned into subtle jabs and judgmental looks that chipped away at her confidence. What started as compliments for her independence and style turned into passive aggressive remarks about what was appropriate. Now, after years of self doubt and shrinking herself to keep the peace, she's finally realizing the truth. This isn't love, it's control. And today, she's sharing her story, hoping it'll help someone else before it's too late. I, 29, female, honestly never thought I'd be the kind of person telling this story, but here I am, ripping my soul apart on the internet because I feel like I'm going insane and no one in my real life understands what I'm going through. So, I've been married for just under 2 years, and I swear, when I first met my husband, 33, male, I thought I hit the jackpot. He was polite, charming, respectful, your textbook gentleman, the kind of guy who'd hold doors open, compliment me for my independence, encourage me to be myself, and tell me how he loved my sense of fashion because I looked strong, smart, and classy. And guess what? He wasn't lying. At first, when we were dating, he used to praise my style all the time. I've always dressed pretty modern, modest, but stylish. Think clean lines, neutral colors, fitted blazers, long skirts, wide leg pants, nice blouses. I don't dress to show off my body, but I do take pride in my appearance. I love fashion. It's always been a huge part of how I express myself. But I swear, the second that ring was on my finger, something in him just shifted. It didn't happen right away. That's how they get you. It starts slow, subtle comments, a little look of disapproval here, an offhanded remark there. One evening, I wore a sleeveless blouse to dinner, and he casually said, "You're not cold? That's kinda revealing, don't you think?" It caught me off guard, but I brushed it off. I thought maybe he was just being protective. Then came the day I wore high-waisted trousers and a tucked-in blouse for a work presentation, and he goes, "You know, you looked a lot more feminine in that dress you wore last week. That was nice." Like, hello? I looked professional, powerful, put together, but suddenly that wasn't enough. I kept trying to rationalize it. Maybe he was just adjusting to married life. Maybe I was overreacting. Maybe I was the one being dramatic. But oh, how wrong I was. The comments escalated fast. One day, I came home from work, excited to tell him I'd been complimented by my manager on how I carried myself like a boss. and he barely looked up from his phone, just muttered, "You know, you don't have to try so hard to be intimidating all the time." That stung. I wasn't trying to intimidate anyone. I was just being me. I tried to brush it off. Again, I told myself, he's just having a bad day. But it kept happening. He started hinting at me not wearing pants anymore, said skirts were more traditional and softened my look. He even said my fitted blazers made me look like I was trying to be a man. What? And then came the kicker. We were invited to his cousin's wedding. I picked out this gorgeous, flowy navy dress that hit right below the knees. Classy, not tight, not even remotely revealing. I did my hair, light makeup, small heels. I felt beautiful. He took one look at me and said, "Are you sure you want to wear that? It's just a lot. Maybe something more conservative would be better." I just stood there in the hallway, frozen. I wanted to scream, cry, rip off the dress, and ask him what exactly was wrong with it. But instead, I did what I now hate myself for. I smiled awkwardly, nodded, and went back to change into something safer. And that, my friends, was the moment I realized I was slowly fading away. He was trying to change me, not just my clothes, not just my style, but my voice, my confidence, my entire being. And what infuriates me is how sneakily he did it, because he never yelled, never forbade me from wearing anything outright. No, he just dropped tiny, poisonous seeds of doubt until I started policing myself. I started second guessing everything I wore, looking at my closet like it was a landmine, avoiding bright colors, choosing outfits that wouldn't trigger another passive-aggressive comment. I even started changing before he got home from work so he wouldn't see what I wore during the day. I was becoming someone else, someone smaller, someone less, and I let it happen. Why did I let it happen? Why didn't I speak up? Why didn't I call him out from the very beginning? I don't know. Maybe because I didn't want to believe that the man I married, the man who once told me he loved how bold and fearless I was the same man who now wanted me to dim my light. And here's the twist that hurts the most. When I finally confronted him, when I finally broke down and asked him if he was ashamed of how I looked, if he was embarrassed by me, he had the audacity to act confused. He said, "I just want you to look more presentable, more respectable. You don't want people getting the wrong idea, do you?" I lost it. I asked him what the wrong idea was. Was I dressing like a streetwalker? Was I embarrassing him? Was I a child who needed to be told what was appropriate? He said nothing, and that silence said everything. I packed a bag that night, drove to my sister's, and I cried the entire way there, not just because of him, but because of me, because I let this happen. I compromised my voice, my fire, my expression, just to avoid rocking the boat. So now I'm sitting here, staring at the reflection of a woman I barely recognize, trying to figure out what comes next. I haven't filed for divorce yet. I'm still processing, still trying to understand how love turned into this, how someone who once celebrated me now resents me for standing tall. And I guess that's why I'm telling this story, because maybe someone out there needs to hear this. It doesn't have to be loud to be controlling. It can be in the subtle undermining, the lingering glances, the discomfort that creeps in every time you choose yourself. And if that's happening to you, please don't ignore it. Don't shrink yourself for someone who claims to love you, because love should never come with a dress code. That's all for today's story, and please don't forget to subscribe. Hit the like button if you loved this story, and comment if you've ever been in a similar situation.